So the ideal client you train online is going to have at least a little bit of experience in the gym. It's very, very difficult to train a client online that's never been in the gym before, where you have to teach them every single exercise from day one. If you do get a client like that and you do decide that you can work with them, there's two things that you can do. The first is every time that you have a new workout with them, i.e. a new batch or a new array of exercises, you actually get taken with them to the gym, as long as wherever they're working out or exercising, be it at home or the gym, kind of they have permission to do that. So they actually take you around the gym with a phone and you're like on Zoom with them while they're performing it, and you cue them as if you were a personal trainer looking over their shoulder. You don't need to do that every single session, but I do recommend doing that at least the first time that you go through a new array of exercises. The other option, which I really, really like, is to find a local trainer, and you actually get in touch with a local trainer and say, hey, Sue, my online client, I'm giving her a new workout. She wants to buy a session with you to be able to go through and make sure that she's performing the exercises safely. And that way what you're doing is, A, you're meeting another trainer locally, and it's always good to build a network that way. And your client's getting taken care of better, because this trainer now can go and basically teach them the exercises, and you can manage their program and work with them online. So those are two really, really good ways if your client is brand new. And you can, of course, use any combination of those, even if your client isn't brand new but needs a little bit of cueing and stuff like that. The other thing that I really, really recommend you do, and this is for in-person training too, but is communicating with your client the difference between pain and delayed onset muscle soreness and DOMS. Pain is bad. DOMS is okay as long as it doesn't get out of control. And as long as your client knows the difference between the two and how they feel, they can actually report to you appropriately. So DOMS is more of a dull sensation over usually a wider period. It's less pinpointed, sometimes a little bit warm for the touch, and it goes away in 72 hours, like at the most. If it lasts for longer than that, even if it is DOMS, like you beat them up too much. Pain is sharp, pinpointed, sometimes across joints, sometimes across muscles. Like, pain is bad. Pain is always bad. DOMS is not necessarily bad, so cue them in that, and that's a really good way to keep them safe. I also definitely think that you should advise them on load. I like, particularly for online trainers, I like the RPE scale, the rating of perceived exertion, which is very simple. If you don't know what it is, search it up, RPE. You can Google it. It's a scale up to 10. And what that does is, as you teach them on it, you can say, okay, this exercise you're going to perform it at a 7. This exercise you're going to perform it at 8, at an 8.5, at a 5. And what that does is you can tell them, okay, if you're performing an exercise at an 8, that means you're going to finish all of your reps with at least 1 or 2 reps in the hole. Basically, you could do 1 or 2 more. If you're at a 9 or 9.5, like you're done. You're not doing any more reps. You're probably doing a cheat rep at the end. If you're at a 10, you're not finishing your set. And so if you teach them that scale, then you can say, perform this at a 5, perform this at a 7, and they can start to guide that themselves and then report to you. So the RPE is really, really valuable. It's simple. It's not perfect, but it's simple. It's pretty good. I also think you should track recovery and sleep for your clients, at least get them to report it to you, because that's a really good indicator of how well they're doing with the program. If they feel constantly neurologically beat up, or they have DOMS for longer than 72 hours and they're just constantly sore, like something's amiss, right? They're either training way too hard for the amount of rest that they're getting for their stress levels at the current time. They're not eating well enough. They're not drinking enough water. Like something's going on there, right? The same thing with sleep. If they're constantly telling you, my sleep was awful. I mean, I got a 4-year-old kid. I get it if your kid interrupts your sleep, but if you're waking up all throughout the night, then again, something's amiss, something needs to get taken care of. And then the final thing, of course, is the most obvious. Like, if you're nervous or your client's nervous, get them to turn around their phone in the workout. Everybody's got a freaking phone working out these days, as annoying as that is in the gym. The reality of it is, get them to turn around their phone when they're training and perform a rep or a set of an exercise and send it to you. Send a text to you. They don't need to upload it through any software. Send a text to you with a video. We all have systems on our phones that can do this like that these days. It's pretty easy. It's definitely something that every single trainer and every single client can do working remotely to perform correctly and safely. Obviously, with brand new clients, it's a little bit harder, but if you follow those few tips, right, you can potentially hire a local trainer, or you can actually go around with them while they're doing the first time that they go through new exercises. Talk to them about the difference between pain and DOMS, and what they should be feeling and get them to report that to you, monitor sleep and recovery, and then get them to video and exercise, you're going to be in pretty good shape.